Season of Discovery Phase 3 was mid, let's be real. But that didn't stop me from playing it anyways. Don't ask why. In this video, I want to talk about Sunken Temple, WoW, unethical PvP, WoW, and some of the obnoxious farms I did as well. That's cool, I guess. So grab your popcorn and snuggle up to your non-existent girlfriend and enjoy the video. Welcome to Sunken Temple, the new raid of Phase 3. Now, unless you are god awful, and I mean clicks an average of 2 spells every minute awful, this raid is piss easy. I remember this one raid that I wasn't even supposed to be in, but they let me in anyways. By the way, we operate on a loot council system. Nah bro, fuck this. I eventually did rejoin their raid because I felt bad, where I got a tier token which was pretty nice, and then my vis offhand dropped, and they gave it to the healer. That made me want to. But I'm not here to cry about not getting loot. No, I want to talk specifically about this raid, where I pumped. Call me cringe all you want, but big numbers make my brain feel good. Also, my logs at the time looked like this. Please, I'm not bad, I swear. So the first step in doing so was grabbing every world buff and overdosing on multiple spell power enhancing elixirs at the same time. And we pulled the first boss. But then I noticed something. My imp wasn't even attacking the boss. He wasn't attacking the second boss either. Something was wrong. You see, the Imp's Firebolt with talents has a 1-second cast time, which is good because that way he can proc Grimoire more often, which makes you do more damage. But because this game was literally made in 2004, the Imp's global cooldown is 1.5 seconds, meaning that he can only manually cast a spell every 1.5 seconds. The fix to this was to macro your Imp's Firebolt into all of your abilities and spam them as much as you can. It's as fun as it sounds. But even then, my imp was still AFK. So then, I unleashed my inner Blizzard dev and thought, hey, I have a pet attack macro. What if I integrated it into all of my macros? Wow, my genius was unparalleled. My intellect, incomprehensible. It was time to finally pump. Except I forgot to change to my Chaos Bolt rune, so I still did more damage than the other Warlock though. No offense, Alucard. You're a G. Next was Morphas and Hazaz, the twin drakes. Other than having an execute phase, these dragons have normal dragon mechanics. You know, breathes fire from the front, does a tail swipe from the back. Like, why am I even explaining this to you? We got a clean kill, and I got a sweet 88 parse. Unlike the next boss, the Shade of Aranicus. We were doing fine. Then some ads spawned, then some more ads spawned, and nobody was killing them. Damn, these melee were really lacking. Ignore my log. 3 people died to the acid rain, another 2 died to the shadowbolt volley, and one of the healers got clobbered by the ads. Right at 2% health, the main tank also died. The boss then turned his gaze towards me, about to turn me into fried gnome when he was killed. I got a 97. I also pumped on the last boss, Hakar, getting a pretty neat 95. We killed him, and one of the items I soft reserved dropped. The Atalai Blood Ritual Charm, a powerful, unused spell power trinket. Problem was, 2 mages soft reserved it too. The beta male gnome Mac Mage rolled an 86, his only good roll of the raid. Now me, Chompy, being the objectively superior caster class, rolled a 97. The next dude's 70 paled in comparison. But I didn't get this trinket to chase useless parses. Hell, it wasn't even considered best in slot. But I'm still happy I yoinked it off them bitch-ass mages. For you see, I had bigger plans. I know this item's true power. I know its true purpose. So that's how I've been biding my time in SoD Phase 3, camping green players in Ashenvale incursions. I find this way more fun and satisfying than doing traditional PvP, especially considering the awful state of Alliance PGs. You know, an average 10% win rate, queuing against 5-man pre-mades, shamans. But that's beside the point. You see, the thing of SoD is that everyone has the help of a normal level 50, but is doing Nexramas tier DPS. This gives some classes the potential to pretty much one-shot in PvP. Warlocks are one of these classes, so here's how to cook. First, you CC them with your succubus, seducing them with her big, blocky bread eyes. Then you use Demonic Grace. This gives you 30% crit, that plus 5% base crit, 5% crit from talents, and 10% crit from a rune, and excluding gear, you already have a 50% chance to crit. Then you cast a Chaos Bolt followed by an Immolate into a Conflagrate. If that doesn't kill someone, you can always finish them off with Shadow Burn or Searing Pain. I won't deny that there was a certain sadistic pleasure I derived from killing players as they stood helpless against my onslaught of fire, but I'm not all bad. Sometimes I will spare a great player. There is no fun in killing lesser beings, but when he thinks he's a hero by polymorphing me, I won't be so graceful now. Also, watch this rogue immediately dip. After sniping that kill, his furry friend started clawing at my feet. Unfortunately, I couldn't seduce this ugly son of a bitch, so I stood there hard-casting Immolate for 5 seconds before landing the kill. He was level 42 by the way. I am 8 levels higher than him. Bro just said, nah, I'd win. But I'm not gonna deny that some people kinda deserve it. Like, come on, you're an undead rogue. I know what kind of man you are. One time while sniping this undead warlock from above, Kenzie, who I'd killed like 5 times prior, spawned right next to me, popping all his shit. It was so cute. Shit, he has backup. The fight ensued. She dogpiled on me all her dots while I tried to burst her down. I ended up dying to her dots while she died to my corruption. You may have killed me, but I will always have the last laugh. Now I know I'm making it seem as though I'm an invincible, unstoppable force of nature, killing green players brain dead from having spent the last 20 levels doing incursions, but this build has its limits. Having spec'd deep into destruction, I am pretty squishy. If I don't initiate the fight, I have to rely on either Death Coil to peel, which is a 2-minute cooldown, or rely on my pet Seduce. And even that doesn't always work. It doesn't last that long, and it can be removed by the PvP trinket or Will of the Forsaken. Seriously, fuck this racial. It makes me feel like a clown for not playing Horde. On top of that, this class sucks for griefing. You have no mobility, and once you die, you have to resummon your demon, your buffs, your conjured items, and you need to farm soul shards for many of your abilities. Playing well as a Destro Lock requires good positioning and skill. Unlike some classes that can just go, After that fiasco, I got corpse camped by a rogue at the Ashara flight path. Most would call this bad karma, but I regret absolutely nothing. But enough about PvP, let's talk about dungeons. Marathon is a vast, beautiful dungeon filled with many bosses, but we are here specifically for the final boss, Princess Faradras. Other than looking like stone-formed Gorlock, she has a small chance to drop the epic dagger, the Blade of Eternal Darkness. This dagger is insane, mainly because of its proc that gives your spells a chance to restore mana. This is really good for trash in dungeons and raids, and is especially great for AoE farming. Warlocks can't AoE farm yet, but it's still a dagger worth having. So here's how to solo Princess. You first need to get the Scepter of Celebras from a short quest chain involving killing 2 bosses in the 2 separate wings of Marathon. This will allow you to skip to the end of the dungeon. You then run past these mobs, jump onto this reset spot behind the stone, then run past the basilisks, past the giants, and then finally to the stone that also acts as a reset spot. Well, in my case, I tried using the Eye of Kilroy to avoid the basilisks, pulled them anyways, got saved by my Voidwalker, ran across the bridge, and pulled another basilisk pack. I then ran past the giants, and I was seconds away from the reset spot before getting stunned by one of the smaller rock elementals. I then watched as my tiny gnome corpse got trampled by a dozen stone giants. I then had to run into the instance portal, run back to the chamber, port into the dungeon, resummon my Voidy, and do it all over again. This time I used the Eye of Kilroy correctly and managed to avoid the basilisks. I then used my Voidy to distract the next few mobs so as to run past unscathed. Running past these mobs, I got dazed, so I used a swiftness pop. I got dazed again, but I was so close to the rock. I then proceed to fail the jump on the reset spot and die again. This time though, I had my soulstone on me because objectively superior caster class. Now we're on to the easy part, killing the princess herself. The general gist is that you kite her in a circle around the room. You try to keep up your dots while Faradras occasionally yeets a boulder at you. She also does this AoE fart hellfire thing that actually works in your favor since it allows you to make some distance. You might also be wondering why I'm doing this in demon form. Well, since warlocks are a wheelchair class, as in they have no mobility, Faradras' fat ass will eventually catch up to you. She has a thrash, which is when she stores melee swings whenever she can't hit you, and when she eventually does, she'll hit you multiple times. So yeah, I'm doing it so that I don't immediately die. At around 20% health, she slows down considerably, making her an easy kill. So yeah, that's what one run of Princess looks like. Will I be here a dozen, a few hundred times, killing this ugly excuse for a 2004 WoW model over and over and over again, only to be perpetually disappointed? Well, there's only one way to find out. I got it in my first run. So what does this mean? Well, I can now flex on all the plebs that have done way more runs than me, and in general just use it as a status symbol. And while I'd love to show you guys my 216 recordings of killing Princess so that you can laugh at my suffering, at least I never have to come back here again. You know where I wasn't so lucky? Season of Discovery gave Warlocks a brand new demon, the Explorer Imp. Obtained from draining a mob's soul, this little dipshit is unlike your other demons, as in he doesn't help you in combat, but rather acts as a bit of a loot goblin. In order to get loot from him, however, you need to send him through a fel portal. These can be found scattered across many zones, and the higher level the zone, the better the loot from the portals. He can get you a rune for your fel guard, some potions, crafting mats, mostly junk, but he can also get some pretty neat BOEs, trinkets, and most importantly, Modus Carcoon, the epic dagger. Wait, Chompy, didn't you get the Blade of Eternal Darkness like a minute ago? Yes, I know. And I also know that I sound extremely entitled. But, you see, I'm a bit of a dagger connoisseur. I got the Sun-Touched Crescent, a 9 fire spell power dagger fueled by salty rogue tears, the Gizmo Blade, which I totally did not steal as a pug from a guild raid, and also the Blade of Eternal Darkness that I got in one run. Modus Carcoon would be an excellent addition to my collection, being rare and drippy as hell. It might barely be an upgrade from the Gizmo Blade, but it's purple, and I want it. The farming cycle went like this: find a portal, involuntarily send your imp inside, grind mobs to reduce the time it takes for him to get back, get disappointed, rinse and repeat. You could also sacrifice your imp, since that technically counts as a kill, and I would feel bad, but it's my imp, so fuck him. And finally, if you weren't bothered with doing either, you can literally just AFK behind a tree or in a bush. After enough portals, my bags would get full, so I would go back to town. There, I would do a very disappointing unboxing, sell the trash, send anything decent to my bankroll, and go back to Feralis. At this point in time, it was mid-phase 3, so shit was pretty dead. This actually worked in my favor since the portals were mostly uncontested. No horde griefing or warlock mafias, just peak efficiency. At best, I was getting a bag every 6 minutes, but sometimes I would spend just as long running in a circle just looking for a portal. One day I came back from school and just did fel portals for the entire day. I think I had a chemistry exam or something. Ball chemistry, help me get Modus Carcoon. No, I don't think so. In these long-ass farming sessions, I would spend most of my time in Feralis. Well, Feralis wasn't the only zone with good fel portals, but it was the best one by a large margin. In Feralis, the portals are all located in one small area, and the mobs have low HP. In contrast, the portals in the Blasted Lands are scattered across the entire zone, and Ashara was stupidly inconvenient and mostly camped by horde. So the farming continued. Hours would go by, I killed hundreds of gnolls, each one acting as tribute for the RNG gods. Despite SoD's population having pretty much flatlined, I wasn't here alone. In fact, more often than not, I would see the exact same players. This also meant that reputation was important. For giving them the Ashenvale Incursion treatment means they are far more likely to kill me while I'm AFK. For instance, I let the green players quest in peace and was nice to all the orc warriors who'd 100% kill me if they had a pocket healer. The same principle applies for enemy warlocks. I love it when there's a mutual understanding between two players, like take this warlock for example. This dude had the STV mount. He could have killed me then and there, but we both knew why we were here, and we cooperated. We proved that we were both above the senseless, irresponsible race wars that plagued our factions. If only he knew. Another one of these warlocks was Gritlock. Gritlock was actually pretty chill. We would find portals together, we would share portals together. Seriously, this dude was great. We were brothers from different mothers. Until he was killed mercilessly while AFK. No! Don't kill my boy! He did none wrong! I was planning on doing 100 portals for the sake of this video, but I got to 83 and just couldn't be asked. Besides, I'm pretty sure the add-on that logged the amount fudged the numbers, like I swear I did way more. In these 83 portals, I got 20 burning pitches, 29 old skulls, 35 broken binding bracers, 28 world core fragments, 4 Torqueldasses, and 0 Modus Carcoons. I did get 1 Zelacular, the best in Slot Affliction trinket, but can you sheave it on your back like this? Yeah, I don't fucking think so. Wait, that dagger's on fire. Wouldn't it like scorch your back or something? Unfortunately, Modus Carcun evaded my grasp. And you know what the best part is? My 100 portals? Those are rookie numbers. There are people who have done multiple times my amount, have been farming portals for weeks, and still haven't gone either the trinket or the dagger. So yeah, maybe I am entitled.